Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Am I audible? Good evening, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening, ma'am.
evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
children.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, children. Are we all there? All right. Let's just recall all the examples we have understood from NCERT. Am I audible, children? Is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In example 2, there is an electric pole. There is an electric pole which is 5 meters tall. The electrician has to reach a point 1.3 meters below the top of the pole. This is the top of the electric pole. And let's say that this is 1.3 meters. This is 1.3 meters. So the electrician has to reach this point, which is 1.3 meters below the top of the pole. Children, after this, you're going to take up a test. So we'll just recall and then we'll take up a test. Okay, so the electric pole is 5 meters tall. The electrician has to reach a point which is 1.3 meters below the top of the pole. So this point, say. All right, so the remaining, the height of this part of the pole will be 5 minus 1.3, which is 3.7, which is 3.7. Now, the electrician has to place a ladder which is inclined to the ground at an angle of 60 degrees. So the ladder is never placed vertical like this, okay? Then it will fall. The ladder is always inclined. It's placed so that it's inclined to the ground. Inclined meaning makes an angle, not 90 degrees with the ground. So now this, say the ladder is placed like this. But see, the ladder, the top of the ladder will touch this point. The top of the ladder will not touch this point. The top of the ladder will not touch this point because she does not want to reach the top of the pole. She wants to reach a point which is 1.3 meters below the top of the pole. So obviously the top of the ladder will be placed like this so that it reaches this point, which is which is actually 3.7 meters above the ground. The ladder, this is the ladder, and of course this is the ground level. The ladder makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. So this angle is 60 degrees. This angle is 60 degrees. And we are going to work with only this triangle. See, we are going to work with this triangle, this triangle. There's only one right triangle. We're going to use trigonometric ratios in this right triangle. In this right triangle, wherein this side is only 3.7, not 5 meters. This side is only 3.7 and not 5 meters. The so, and we know that in a right triangle, when we know one angle, in a right triangle, when you know one angle and one side, you can find everything else. So when you know one angle is 60 degrees and you know one side is 3.7 meters. So you can use your convenient, T ratios to find the missing sides or the required sides. So we need to find here in this question, we need to find the length of the ladder. We need to find the length of the ladder. In this question, we need to find the length of the ladder and also the distance between the foot of the pole and the foot of the ladder. These are the two things we have to find. Or we have to find the distance between the foot of the pole and the foot of the ladder. So this one we have to find. We have to find this. And also we need to find the length of the hypotenuse, which is the length of the ladder. So use the appropriate T ratios to find the length of these two line segments that represent the ladder and the distance between the foot of the pole and foot of the ladder. So the diagram incorporating the information given in a diagram is the crucial part of solving a question from heights and distances. If you can do the figure correctly, your work is half done, not even half done. I think about 75 to 80% done. Because your figure tells you all about the answer, the steps that have to be presented to get the answer. In this question, the height of the observer is given to us. So the ground level and the horizontal line are different. When you know the height of the observer, in the case of angle of elevation, in the case when angle of elevation is measured, the ground level is different from the horizontal line is different from the ground level when the height of the observer is known. When we measure the angle of elevation, the horizontal line is different from the ground level when we know the height of the observer. Angle of elevation is measured. Height of the observer is given. In this case, the ground level is different. The horizontal line is different. When we do not know the height of the observer, the ground level, the horizontal line, both are the same. An observer 1.5 meters tall is 28.5 meters away from a chimney. Okay, so an observer 1.5 meters tall, 1.5 meters tall. So there are two things here. One observer whose height we know, and the other is a chimney. All right. So let this line segment represent the observer, 1.5 meters tall, and this one represent the chimney. So now see, chimney will be taller than the observer, but in case you have a question, how do you know it is taller than the observer? Since angle of elevation is measured, that means the observer is looking up to see something on the chimney. See here, the angle of elevation of the top of the chimney. The angle of elevation itself says that the observer is raising his head or her head to look at that object or that position. When angle of elevation is measured, that means the observer has to raise his head, look up to look at that something. Angle of elevation means observer at a lower level, object or the position viewed is at a higher level. So let this line segment represent the observer 1.5 meters tall, and let this line segment represent the chimney. Let this line segment represent the chimney. This is the ground level. This is the ground level. The observer is standing on the ground. The observer is standing on the ground, and the chimney is also on the ground, this being the foot of the chimney, this being the top of the chimney, Now, let's join this to form a rectangle. This is the horizontal line through the eye of the observer. This is the horizontal line through the eye of the observer. Now, this is the eye of the observer. So we need to identify two lines to mark the angle of elevation. I hope we are all listening to me as if you don't know. See, when something is revised, you should listen as if you don't know that at all. That is, you don't even know what we are revising. You should listen as if it is completely new to you. All of you must be listening to this as if you don't know anything like this. So this is the eye of the observer. This is the eye of the observer. 1 second, children. Yes, children, I'm back. So this is the chimney. This is the foot of the chimney. Observer, foot of the observer. This is the ground level. This is the ground level. This is the horizontal line through the eye of the observer, and that completes a rectangle. Now the observer is looking at the top of the chimney. See here, the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation of the top of the chimney from her eyes is 45 degrees. The angle of elevation of the top of the chimney from her eyes is 45 degrees. So angle of elevation. So to mark the angle of elevation, we need two things. We need two arms. Horizontal line, line of sight. Horizontal line, we know it's a line through the eye of the observer. We know this is the horizontal line. What about the line of sight? So that is the line that connects the eye of the observer and the object or the position observed. Top of the chimney is observed. Top of the chimney is observed. So this line segment that connects the eye of the observer and the object observed is the line of sight. And the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line is called the angle of elevation, which is 45 degrees, which is 45 degrees. This is 1.5. So this is also 1.5. This is also 1.5. So now the question is to find the height of the chimney. We need to find only this portion. Plus 1.5 will give the height of the chimney. This height, this one, plus 1.5 will give the height of the chimney. And we also know that the observer is at a distance of 28.5 meters from the chimney. So this distance on the ground is 28.5 meters. The observer, to observe the distance between the observer and the chimney. The distance between the observer and the chimney is 28.5. So that means this is 28.5. And then you'll have to, in the right triangle, you'll have to use T ratios and find this part h plus 1.5 will give you the height of the chimney. So in this question, there's a 10-meter tall building. In this question, there is a 10-meter tall building. In this question, there is a 10-meter tall building and there is a flag hoisted on top of this building. On top of the building, there's a flagstaff. So this is the flagstaff from here to here. And from here to here is the building, the height of the building. The building is from here to here. This is the height of the building. And from here to here is the flagstaff. So this is the height of the flagstaff. This is the height of the building. They're all vertical, no? Not horizontal. Ground level, ground level. This line segment represents the building. This is the top of the building. And on top of the building, there's a flagstaff mounted. So this is the height of the flagstaff. This is, what is this portion, children? This is the bottom or top of the flagstaff. What is this?
Bottom of the flagstaff.
This is the bottom of the flagstaff. What about this one?
Top of the flagstaff.
Top of the flagstaff. What about this?
Bottom of the building.
Bottom of the building. Bottom of the building. Why less responses today? This is the bottom of the building. All right. So from a point P on the ground, from a point P, so let's mark this point P. From a point P on the ground, the angle of elevation, so you're looking up, the angle of elevation of the top of a 10-meter tall building. See, remember, only this is 10 meters. Only this is 10 meters. Only the building is 10 meters tall. The elevation of the top of the flagstaff, the elevation of the building is 10 meters tall. The elevation of the top of the flagstaff, see here, a flag is hoisted at the top of the building and the angle of elevation of the top of the flagstaff from P is 45 degrees. So top of the flagstaff, P, elevation is 45 degrees. elevation is 45 degrees. From the same point P on the ground, the elevation of the top of the building is 30 degrees. This is the top of the building. This is the top of the building. The elevation is 30 degrees. From the same point, the elevation of the top of the building is 30 degrees. So now you know the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal is the angle of elevation. Line of sight horizontal is the elevation. So given this, you need to find the length of the flagstaff because we know only the building's height. We do not know the length of the flagstaff. So we have to find the length of the flagstaff and also the distance between the building and the point P.
Ma'am, a small request. Could you please use any other color? It's hard to find me, ma'am.
Yeah, I told you, no, Reshmika.
No,
The
ma'am,
next-
the writing one. You can either use white color, ma'am, instead of red.
Let me try. Is this fine?
Ah, yeah, ma'am, it's very nice.
Okay, thank you. Yes, children? Yeah, for this one, you can use either a single diagram like this, like I told you the other day. You have an alternate method now. The shadow of a tower standing on a level ground, the shadow of a tower standing on a level ground is found to be 40 meters longer when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees than when it is 60 degrees. So children, what is sun's altitude?
30
Sun's altitude is
30 degrees.
no, darling. What is meant by the term sun's altitude?
The sun rays,
Angle
the
between the
position of
sun
sun.
rays
Ma'am,
and the surface of Earth.
Angle between the sun's rays and the
Surface of the Earth.
surface of the
surface of
earth.
the earth. Very good. The angle between the sun's rays and the surface of the earth at a particular point of time is called the sun's altitude. The sun's altitude is different at different times of the day. The sun's altitude is different at different times of the day. The shadow of a tower standing on a level ground is found to be 40 meters longer when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees than when it is 60 degrees. So it's very clear that when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees, when the sun's altitude is, okay. When I do it on the paper, you can't make it. I'll change it, Reshmika, don't worry. It's white is not visible on white.
Not an issue, ma'am.
Yeah. So when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees, when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees than when it is 60 degrees. So it's very clear that the shadow is longer when the altitude is 30 degrees. The shadow is longer when the altitude is 30 degrees. The shadow is shorter when it is 60 degrees. So see here. So this is the tower. This is the tower standing on the level ground. This is the level ground. At a particular point of time, the shadow, when the altitude is 60 degrees, the shadow is shorter. So let's say that this is the length of the shadow when the angle of elevation, when the sun's altitude is 60 degrees. Let's say this is the length of the shadow. Let us say that this is the length. See, the shadow will always fall from the foot of the tower. The shadow will always fall from the foot of the tower. So let us say that this is the length of the shadow when the elevation is 60 degrees, because when the elevation is 60, the shadow is shorter. When the elevation is, when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees, it is longer. 60 degrees, it is shorter. So let us say that this is the length of the shadow. Let us say that this is the length of the shadow when the altitude is 60 degrees. So that means The sun's rays hits the top of the tower and they fall on the ground like this, making an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. Making an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. I'll do it again. Tower, level ground. Top of the tower, the sun's rays, the rays of the sun hit the top of the tower and they fall on the ground like this. They fall on the ground, making an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. This is the time when the shadow is shorter than when it is 30 degrees. So this is the length of the shadow from the foot of the tower to this point. Let's say is the length of the shadow when the sun's altitude is 60 degrees. Next, when the sun's altitude is 30 degrees, the shadow is 40 meters longer. So let's take 40 meters longer. Let's say this one, 40 meters longer. So this one is 40 meters. This one is 40 meters. Okay, this is 40 meters. This portion is 40 meters. So this is 40 meters longer now than the original shadow. Now at this time of the day, the sun's rays hit the top of the tower and they reach the ground like this at this inclination, making an angle of 30 degrees, with the ground. Now the question is to find the height of the tower. Let me mark this one as X. Yes, please tell me, children, how do we do this? Help me solve this. In right triangle. You must ask yourself these questions. No, but why is the class so quiet today?
Ma'am, we want to take as tan 16, ma'am.
One second. Yeah. Yes, children, tell me.
Ma'am, tan 16.
We want to
ma'am,
take as tan 50, ma'am. X. That is H by X, ma'am.
In which triangle?
ma'am,
ABC.
ABC.
In
ABC.
triangle ABC. In right triangle ABC. Yes.
Tan 60 is equal to
H by X.
H by X, ma'am.
Then we
Tan
want to
60
take as
degrees
so
is equal to
H by X.
AB by BC, ma'am.
opposite by adjacent AB by BC, which is H by X. Perfect.
Yes,
Next.
Then 1 by root 3 is equal to H by X, ma'am.
Tan 60 is 1 by root 3, yeah?
Ma'am, root 3.
Root 3,
Root 3, ma'am.
Root 3 on, ma'am.
Root 3 is
Root
equal
3
to
is equals to H by X, ma'am.
X, ma'am.
Then H is equals to
Then X is equal to H by root 3.
root 3x, ma'am.
Root 3x. So since one equation and there are two unknowns, we cannot find any of them. See, we have one equation with two unknowns, H and X. We cannot find the value of any of them. So we leave it like this. See, you don't know whether you have to write X is equal to or H is equal to. Anything is fine. Just leave it like that. Cross multiply and leave it like that. Take up the other triangle.
Then we want
Yes,
to take
children?
triangle ABD, ma'am.
Yeah, in triangle ABD.
That is tan 30 is equal to H by X plus 40.
Tan is a figure understood very clearly, children. Any doubt with the figure?
No, ma'am.
Tan 30 is equal to?
H by X plus 40, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute. What is, tell me the line segment. Tell me the line segment that represents the length of the shadow when the elevation is 60 degrees.
BC.
Ma'am, BC, ma'am.
When the elevation is 60, when the sun's altitude is 60 degrees, which line segment represents the length of its shadow?
BC, ma'am.
BC. BC, very good, BC. And which line segment represents the length of the shadow when the altitude is 30 degrees?
BD.
BD. Children, it is BD. Please, the shadow starts from the foot of the tower. BC, BD. CD is only that extra portion 40 meters longer. CD does not represent the complete length of the shadow at any time. The line segment CD does not represent the length of the shadow at any time. It's only that extra length it represents. The shadow starts from the foot of the tower. BC is the shadow. BC is the shadow when it is 60 degrees. BD is the shadow when it is 30 degrees. Then what is this? Why is CD 40 meters? 40 meters longer it is when it is 30 degrees. So that extra length of shadow, CD. Yes, children, tan 30 is equal to
H by X plus 40, ma'am.
H by X plus
X
40. Yeah, then 1 by root 3.
3 is equal to H by X plus 40, ma'am.
So see, we have learned this chapter linear equations in two variables. So basically we have two equations here in H and X.
Yes.
In H and X, we have two equations, H by X plus 40. So the thing is, one equation, we should have only one unknown. Then we can solve and find the value of that unknown. Supposing one equation, we have only H. We have only H in it. We can solve and find the value of H. Or we can solve for H. Or one equation, we have one unknown X. Yeah, we can work that and solve for X. But if we have two unknowns in one equation, H and X, we cannot find the value of H or X. So the thing is, one equation, there should be only one unknown. So what will we do now? This is equation 1. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. We don't know. What do we do after this?
I mean, H we can put root 3x, ma'am.
Correct. One method is we can substitute. We can convert the second equation to an equation on only X. You can take away this H and write root 3x and write root 3x. And write root 3x. You can take away that in the next step, children. Don't cross it like this and write. In the next step, you can just take away H and write root 3x. So now see, there's only one unknown X. Cross multiply and solve for X. And once you get X, put the value of X here. Once you get X, put the value of X here to find H. The other method is, this is the substitution method. This is the substitution method. Otherwise, what we can do is, we have H by. So what you can do is, you can write this one also in terms of H. In terms of X. You can, like we have here, H is equal to root 3x. This one also you can write as H is equal to something. And then equate 1 and 2. See, now we have an expression for H here, right? Root 3x. You can get from this one, you can get another equation for H. Then you can, H is given by this expression. Okay, let us work that, children. What will we get? H is equal to here. You'll get X plus 40. H is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. X plus 40 by root 3. This is what you will get. H is equal to, when you work this, you will get H is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. Correct? Children, am I right? H is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. So opposite. Yes. So we have two equations now. Both expressions represent H. So H is equal to root 3x. H is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. So what do we do now? We can equate. So root 3x is equal to X plus 40. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
By root 3. So now, so the idea is we have two expressions that represent H. H is equal to root 3x. The same H is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. Equate these two because both of them represent H. So root 3x is equal to X plus 40 by root 3. Now this equation has only one unknown X. Solve and find X. And once you find X, we know that H is root 3x. Substitute the value of X there to find H. And that will answer the question. And it is not that you must write h is equal to. So you can also write the first one as x is equal to one expression. From the second one, you can get x is equal to another expression and equate these two. Is the solving part clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
No, I
ma'am.
want the class to,
Yes, ma'am.
most of us to acknowledge, because some of us never talk in the class. No, 1 minute, let me call out one by one. Because going ahead without understanding this is no use. Lakshita, do you understand the working?
Yes, ma'am.
Ravya,
Yes, ma'am.
see, if you don't want to say in the open meeting, you can even text me that you didn't understand. I have my phone beside me. There's no harm in saying in the class, but just in case you're feeling shy to say that, you can just text me. I'm having my phone beside me. I'll not tell your name. I can explain it again.
Ma'am, could you please explain the alternative way?
Yeah, sure. We'll do it together.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Lakshita, you said yes. Ravya?
Ma'am, I'm there.
No, understood the working?
Yes, ma'am.
Sort of or understood?
Ma'am, understood the working.
Arnav? Okay. Arnav,
Understood clearly, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Clearly.
okay. Akshay Ram? Akshay Ram? Bala Harish?
Hey, understood, ma'am.
Hariharan?
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Harshita?
Understood, ma'am.
Muthuvel?
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Muthuvel, second method, you're helping me. Nafi? Nivedita?
Understood, ma'am.
Rishita?
Understood.
Bhargavi?
Understood, ma'am.
Priya? Priyadarshini?
Understood, ma'am.
Understood,
ma'am.
Rakshan? Reshmi?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Reshmi is okay. Reshmika, you said you wanted the alternate method.
Yes,
Anish?
Understood, ma'am.
Sudarshan?
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Sabari Grish?
Understood, ma'am.
Shakti? Shivani?
Understood, ma'am.
Shakti?
Understood.
Manasa? Shruti?
Understood, ma'am.
Shruti? Srinivasan? Shriya?
Understood, ma'am.
Subiksha? Tirunesh?
Understood, ma'am.
So what to mark H, X, Y and all that? Unknown line segments. Unknown. See, if you are using that line segment to connect using a T ratio, but you do not know its length, instead of using A, B, B, C, C, D and all that, these letters will look more easier to solve. Though it is the same, it will look easier when you're working with these letters. So which one? Don't mark the hypotenuse because we have nothing to do with the hypotenuse. So we'll not unless required. Yeah, so the unknown line segments, we'll mark them with these small letters. Yes, Reshmika, can you start? Tan 60 is equal to Reshmika?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yeah, tan 60 is equal to?
It would be better if I hear from you.
No, tell me the final result. Tan 60 by this figure is?
H plus, sorry, H divided by X.
Okay, the value of tan 60? Okay. So now here we are going to write what x in terms of h. So x is equal to what? Reshmika, x is equal to
root 3.
h
Root 3.
By root 3, ma'am.
h by root 3. X is
Okay.
equal to h by root 3.
Fine. Okay, ma'am.
Because you'll get root 3 x is equal to h.
Okay.
You'll get root 3 x is equal to h.
Yeah, now I understood.
Yeah, so x is equal to h by root 3.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is our first result. This is our first result. So we are going to write the second one also. In the second one, it's called making x the subject of the formula.
Okay.
So in the second one also, we are going to make x the subject of the formula. That is, we are going to write x in terms of h. Yes, tell me, Reshmika, tan 30 is equal to?
H divided by x plus 40.
Which is the, okay. Which is the triangle?
I didn't get your question.
ABD, ma'am.
ABD.
ABD,
Okay.
yes.
ABD is a triangle. Tan 30 degrees is equal to?
H divided by x plus 3.
Okay.
X plus 40.
Yeah, you're right. Then the value of tan 30 degrees?
By root 3, ma'am.
Okay, 1 by root 3 is equal to h by x plus 40. Next step, Reshmika?
Yes, ma'am. 1 by root 3 h.
Let's cross multiply because we're trying to work ahead. So let's cross multiply. What will you get on cross multiplying?
X is equal to root 3h minus 40, ma'am.
No, children, please wait. Yes, Reshmika, please cross multiply.
Ma'am, could you please tell the answer? I can understood then.
Or shall I work?
Yeah.
Okay. X plus 40 on cross multiplying, we get x plus 40 is equal to h root 3. Is this fine?
Yeah, now good, ma'am.
Okay, so x is equal to, so we're going to write here, 1 is x is equal to h by root 3. We are going to get another expression for x. So x is equal to h root 3 minus 40.
Fine. Okay, ma'am. Now I understood.
This is 2. Okay, so Biksha, what after this? Subiksha, Muthuvel.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, after this, how do we proceed? What do we do with 1 and 2?
Can I tell, ma'am?
Right.
No. The question is to Muthuvel. Muthuvel, please tell me what do we do with 1 and 2?
Ma'am, to find the height.
Yeah, tell me what's the next step? How do we proceed? In 1, what is x equal to?
H by root 3. ma'am.
So this is x, right? X is equal to h by root 3. What is this one? That is also for x, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So equate these two. This expression represents x. This expression also represents x. So that means these two are equal. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now then what should be the next step?
Equating both the equation.
Equating both, because both represent x. So h by root 3 is equal to h root 3 plus 40. So you have to solve this cross multiply.
And h
Cross-
root minus 40.
And h root 3.
Oh, minus 40. Yeah, minus 40. Yes. So then cross multiply. So you'll get h is equal to 3h minus 40 root 3. After this, you know, children, so h is equal to 3h, cross multiply, h is equal to 3h minus 40 root 3. So you get 2h is equal to 40 root 3, h is equal to 40 root 3 by 2, which is 20 root 3. So directly we get the height of the tower. H is equal to 20 root 3.
Now understood, ma'am.
All right, Reshmika, good. In example 6, there are two buildings. One is a multi-storied building, another is a tall building. Do not go by the words multi-storied building, so it should be taller than the tall building. You cannot. You have to read the question and understand that. So when you have two structures whose heights are known to you, identifying which is taller is very important to make the figure correctly. See, when you have a tower and a person whose height is not given, there is so the vertical line segment will only represent the tower. The observer, see, I'm talking about a situation where you know the height of the tower or the building or the pole, but you do not know the height of the observer. So then in the case of angle of elevation, the observer is just represented by a fine point on the ground, a point on the ground. But when you have two structures standing vertically on the ground, identifying which structure is taller or shorter becomes important in making the figure correctly. Okay. The angles of depression. So that means the observer is at a higher level. The angles of depression. So the observer is at a higher level and he's looking at the angles of depression. So he's measuring, so since 30 and 45 is given, he's measuring two angles. There are two angles of depression. So that means the observer is standing at a higher level and he's looking down. He has to lower his head to look at two different things. One measured at a depression of 30 degrees and the other measured at a depression of 45 degrees. The observer is standing at a higher level. What he's looking is at a lower level than him. He's looking down at something. So if he's looking down and he's at a higher level, the building on which he's standing is taller. The building on which the observer is standing should be taller because from that he's looking down. That is why he's measuring angles of depression. Okay. The angles of depression of the top and the bottom of an 8-meter tall building. So he's looking at the 8-meter tall building. He's looking at the top of the 8-meter tall building. He looks at the bottom of the 8-meter tall building. So the 8-meter tall building is shorter than the multi-storied building. The angles of depression of the top and the bottom of an 8-meter tall building from the top of a multi-storied building. So from the top, meaning the observer is on the top of the multi-storied building. From the top of the multi-storied building, he's looking at the top and the bottom of the 8-meter tall building. So please understand that the multi-storied building is taller. The multi-storied building is taller than the 8-meter tall building. Than the 8-meter tall building. This is the 8-meter tall building. Let's complete the rectangle. Now he's here. This is the top of the multi-storied building. This is the top of the multi-storied building. So this will be the horizontal line. This will be the horizontal line. See, we don't draw it. You can, if you want, show it this side, but it's not needed because he's looking at the top and the bottom of the 8-meter tall building. The observer is standing on the top of the multi-storied building. He looks at the first one. He looks at the top and then the bottom. He looks at the top and then the bottom. Top angle is 35 degrees. top angle is 35 degrees, 30 degrees. Bottom angle is 40 degrees. Oh my God, I'm sorry. The angle of depression of the top is 30 degrees and the angle of depression of the bottom is 45 degrees. So he first looks at the top of the building and then still lowers his head to look at the bottom of the building. Okay, so he's here at the top of the multi-storied building. This is the horizontal line. He looks at the top of the 8-meter tall building. He's looking at the top, but how do we know that this is shorter? Because depression, angles of depression. So he's at a higher level. So this is the top of the 8-meter tall building. This is the bottom of the, or the foot of the 8-meter tall building. Line of sight is from the eye of the observer to the point observed. This is one line of sight. This is the other line of sight. This is the other line of sight. Excuse me, they're lines, they're line segments. They're not crooked lines like these. These are the lines of sight. Now the angle of elevation. This is the line of sight for the top. This is the line of sight for the top of the building. Top of the building. So for the top, the depression is 30 degrees. So from the line of sight, to the horizontal, this one. This is the line of sight for the top of the building. This one is 30 degrees. And from the same horizontal to the line of sight of the bottom of the building or the foot of the building. This is the line of sight for the bottom of the building. This one. So from here to the horizontal, from this line of sight to the horizontal is 45 degrees. Obviously, no, here the mouth is less wider. So this only has to be 45. You cannot mark, this one as 45 and take this as 30. This is wider. So angle of depression is equal to angle of elevation. So this angle will be 30 degrees. This will be 30 degrees and this will be 45 degrees. Angle of depression is equal to angle of elevation. So that's Z. Please identify the Z carefully and whatever is here, bring it down here. I'll show you one Z. This is one Z, which has 30 degrees in it. So this one is 30 degrees. That's it. You have to just take the triangle. Same procedure. There are two triangles. One triangle is available with 30 degrees. Another triangle with 45 degrees. Apply tan 30, tan 45 in the two triangles. And then use one of the methods. Either you can substitute or you can equate. Use one of the two methods and get the answer. So this one will be 8. So you'll have to call this one as X. And then this line segment will be used in the triangle. So you can call this H. This also will be H because opposite sides of the rectangle. So this also will be H. Don't mark X here and Y here. Opposite sides of the rectangle, use the same letter. Or maybe you can use X here, and you can call this as H. All right. From a point on a bridge across a river. From a point on a bridge across a river. So if this is the river, but there's the bridge over it. There's the bridge over it. So we're just taking that point. See, we're just taking a point. So this is the point. Say this is the point on the bridge. This is not on the ground. This is not on the ground. It's at a point higher than the ground because it's on the bridge. From a point on the bridge. So let this be the point P on the bridge across a river. So it's used. The bridge is used to cross a river. The angles of depression That means from the bridge, you're looking down at something. The angles of depression of the banks on opposite sides of the river. Of course, the banks are on the opposite sides. Banks of the river, they're on the opposite sides. They're opposite to each other. The angles of depression of the banks on opposite sides of the river are 30 degrees and 45 degrees respectively. So that means, let us say that this is the width of the river. This is the width of the river. This is the width of the river. So this is, so from this point, say the observer is looking at this point on one bank and this point on the other bank. This is the width of the river. Flowing water, there's water flowing here. And this is the width of the river. This is the width of the river. This is the bank. This is the bank. This is one bank. This is the other bank. So the observer is looking at this point on one bank and this point on the other bank. And if I draw this line segment, what does this represent, children? What does this represent?
Height.
Height of?
Height of the river bank.
River bank.
Height of the river
Between
bank.
the bridge and the river.
It's the height of the bridge above the river.
Yes,
Correct. It's the height
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
bridge. Simply the height of the bridge. Bridge is above the river only. It's the height of the bridge. So this line segment represents the height of the bridge. This is the height of the bridge above the river. This is the width of the river. This is the width of the river. This is the point on one bank. This is the point on the other bank. So the observer who's standing on the bridge across the river, he looks down. So which would be the horizontal line? Here, this one is the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line. What he does is from this point, he's looking down. He's looking down at this point, and he's looking down at this point. So this is the horizontal line. This is the line of sight. You can mark 30 here and 45 here, or the 45 here and 30 here. That is not going to alter the answer. Anyway. So see here, this is the horizontal line. This is the horizontal because angle of depression. So through this point, the straight line which you draw will be the horizontal. Between the horizontal and the line of sight. Line of sight is from the observer to the point observed. This is the line of sight. Between that, the angle between the horizontal and the line of sight is the angle of depression. Here also, this is the angle of depression. This is the line of sight. This is the line of sight. This is the angle of depression. Angle of elevation is equal to angle of depression. So this will be 45 degrees. And this will be 30 degrees. Tell me, children, how do we work this? We need to find, oh, it's given that the bridge. Yeah, we need to know something, right? We need to know something.
And we can take tan 45.
This is given to be 3 meters. The height of the bridge above the river is given to be 3 meters.
Yes, ma'am.
So the height of the bridge is 3 meters. P is the point of the observer on the bridge. P is the point of the observer on the bridge. PB, what is PB?
Line of sight. Line of sight.
Line of sight. PC?
Line of sight.
Line of sight.
Line of sight.
Line of sight.
Line of sight. Okay, what is BC?
Horizontal line.
Width of the river. BC is the width of the river. Okay, so how do we find BC? Meaning, okay, let me see if you can read my question correctly. How do you find BC? What plus what
We
is
can
BC?
find BA and AC. ma'am.
AB plus
So we can
AC.
get a BC.
Yeah. So we should find AB from one right triangle, AC from the other right triangle. We should find AB from one right triangle and AC from the other right triangle. Add both to find BC. And it's very simple. When in a right triangle, you have one angle and one side. You have one angle. So in this right triangle, ABP. In the right triangle, ABP, in the right triangle ABP, you know one angle 45 degrees and one side 3 meters. You need to find AB. So tan 45. Tan 45 is equal to
1 is
opposite.
equal to 3 by x1.
Opposite. Or you can even use this property. This one also is 45. No, so these two sides are equal. So you get 3 only here also. It's a right isosceles triangle. Or you can do this. Tan 45 is equal to opposite 3 by adjacent. You can call it x. On working this, you'll get x is equal to 3. Similarly, tan 30 is equal to opposite 3 by y.
3 root 3.
So tan 30 is 1 by root 3 is equal to opposite 3 by y. Opposite by adjacent. So y is equal to 3 root 3. So x plus y will be the width of the river. In a triangle, when you know one angle and one side, you can find whichever the other side you need. So here we need AB and AC. We need AB from one right triangle, AC from the other right triangle. Find, add, and that will be the width of the river. Yes, children, write down this question. This is not from NCERT. So please write down the question. Write down the question. It's a test question. An aeroplane, when flying at a height of 3,125 meters from the ground, passes vertically below. This aeroplane passes vertically below another aeroplane. At an instant, this aeroplane which is mentioned flies vertically below another aeroplane. At an instant, when the angles of elevation of the two planes from the same point on the ground are found to be 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. Find the, not distant children, find the distance. This is not distant. Find the distance between the two planes at that instant. Please try, children. I'll just get back. Completed working, children?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
What's the answer you've got?
Yes, ma'am.
6250 meters, ma'am.
6,250.
6,250.
6250 meters, ma'am.
6,250.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the what is that horizontal distance on the ground equal to?
What, ma'am? Can you repeat, ma'am?
But that horizontal, in the triangle, you have one horizontal distance no, on the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
3,125 root 3.
Very good. 3,125 root 3.
Root 3,
Yeah,
ma'am.
very good. I think that was Shakti, Arnav. Who else? Srinivasan, is it?
Tirunesh.
Tirunesh, yes.
I'm also, ma'am.
Sudarshan? Balaharish. Balaharish, very good. Okay, let's see the diagram first. An aeroplane, when flying at a height of 3,125 meters. So there is one aeroplane which is flying at a height of 3,125 meters above the ground. So this aeroplane, so this is the ground level. This is the ground level. Okay, there's an aeroplane. The height of the aeroplane from the ground is 3,125 meters. So this is the position of the aeroplane at a particular point of time. At a particular instant, this is the position of the aeroplane. And it's flying at a constant height of 3,125 meters above the ground. So this one is 3,125 meters. Okay, so ground passes, this one passes vertically below. So this particular aeroplane is passing vertically below another one. Below meaning the other one is above this. If this one has to be below something, then that other thing is above it. See now, this aeroplane is flying at a height of 3,125 meters above the ground. Okay, this is what we have. Now, at a particular instant, this aeroplane flies vertically below another one. This one is below something. That means that other thing is above it. See now, when you draw the second aeroplane here, that the first one is below the second one. That's what is given in the question. The first aeroplane is below the second aeroplane. When the question begins like this, an aeroplane when flying at a height of 3,125 meters. So ground level, aeroplane, this is the position of the aeroplane, say, and its height is 3,125 meters. At an instant, this one is below another aeroplane. So this one is below. So something is above it. Something is above it. There's another aeroplane. At a particular point of time, there's an aeroplane fly. It happens that this aeroplane, the second aeroplane, this aeroplane flies vertically below this one. So at that particular point of time, this is the distance between the two aeroplanes in the air. This is the distance between the two aeroplanes in the air. So at that instant, you can see that this aeroplane is flying below this one. And at that instant, this is the distance between the two planes. This is the distance between the two planes. Now from the same point on the ground, so say this point on the ground, the elevation of this plane and this plane, elevation, so this is the line of sight. These are the lines of sight. The elevation of the two planes is found to be 30 degrees and 60 degrees. From the same point on the ground, the point does not change. So from the same point, so from this point on the ground, the elevation of both the planes, from the same point, this is the point. From this point, this is the line of sight connecting the, the position of the observer and the point observed. Similarly, this is another line of sight. This is the other line of sight. The angles of elevation are 30 and 60 degrees. So this one is 30, this one is 30, this one is 60. Remember, the elevations are always between the horizontal and line of sight. Horizontal and line of sight. So you can call this X, this, or you can call this one as H, this one as X. This is 30 degrees and this is 60 degrees. So this one is 3125. That is important. Not the whole thing. The whole thing is not 3125. This one is 31. Only this is 3125. And the aeroplane which is mentioned first is below. The other one is below. So the other one is above it. And this is the distance between the two planes. So this is the representation of the information given in the question. Is this the answer, children? Please check your steps. If you have not worked, please take down the answer and get your doubts clarified.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, if it was given horizontally below, then how would we draw the diagram?
Horizontally below. Yeah, we have a question like that also. Just wait for it. Then
Okay.
Then you should just switch the position. AC will be 3125. One minute. See here. So ground level. Ground level. And this is the aeroplane flying at a height of 3,125 meters above the ground. And say at a particular instant, there's another airplane flying below this. That is, this is flying above another airplane. So you should take the other airplane here. This will be the distance between the two airplanes. This is the airplane flying at a height of 3,125 meters above the ground. At a particular time, this airplane flies vertically above another one. Above another one, meaning that new airplane is below this. The new airplane is below this. And this is the distance between the two airplanes. The total height will be 3,125. The total height will be 3,125.
So if it's horizontally below, also same diagram will come, ma'am.
No, horizontally below meaning what is it? What's the difference between horizontally below and passing vertically above or below? I don't understand that. When in air we say like when in air we say that now when we say AB, A is vertically above B. A is vertically above B. B is vertically below A. No, you can ask again now. Arnav, horizontal?
No, I'm asking how would you draw the diagram if it's given horizontally below, ma'am?
The plane is flying horizontally only, right? The distance is vertically above and below. The planes are flying horizontally only. The planes don't, there's no difference. It will be the same.
Okay, ma'am. Got it.
There's no difference.
Got it, ma'am.
Yeah. The planes are flying horizontally like this. And this is the vertical distance between them. Because this distance in the air is vertical like this. the vertical distance between the planes. The planes are flying horizontally. There is no horizontal distance between them. That will happen only when they are flying at the same level from the ground. If there are two planes flying at the same level, like, for example, the figure is like this. There's a plane here and here. Both of them are flying at the same height, say 3,000 meters above the ground. Both of them are flying at a height of 3,000 meters above the ground. Two planes, both of them flying at a height of 3,000 meters above the ground. This is the horizontal distance between them, and that will be equal to this distance on the ground. And some information, the elevations will be given to you, and you have to find this horizontal distance between them. When two planes are flying at the same height above the ground, this is plane A, this is plane B. Both plane A and plane B are flying at the same height of 3,000 meters above the ground. So how do we explain this figure? From this point on the ground, the elevation of B is 30 degrees. And from the same point P on the ground, the elevation of A is say 60 degrees. From the point P, this is the elevation of B. This is the elevation of B. The elevation of plane B is 30 degrees, and this is the elevation of plane A, that is 60 degrees. So when the two planes are flying at the same height, same vertical height above the ground, then you can measure the horizontal distance between them. This is the horizontal distance between them. This distance in the air will be equal to this distance on the ground. You cannot find this distance in the air. So this distance you can find on the ground. This is equal to this distance in the air. Okay. Children, here you see the answer. It's not that you should maintain so much gap and all that. There's nothing that you must show so much gap in the figure. Don't worry about that. A, B, C, D, of course, you know it. I'm not treating you like a child, but just reminding you that A, B, C, D can be marked as per your wish. How to check the answer? See here, you'd have used different letters. So how to check the answer? What is the CD? What is the CD we have got? CD is equal. So what is which one is that? So if you might have called this AB, you might have called this one AB. So you should have got AB is equal to 3125 root 3 meters. And what I've got AB. AB is this one. AB is this one. Is 6,250. So the distance between the two planes at that instant is 6,250 meters. So children, here the thing is, see, you must understand the answer like this. Which is the triangle in which you know one angle and one side?
BCD, ma'am.
In triangle BCD, in right triangle BCD, we know that BC is 3,125 meters and angle BDC is 30 degrees. Now using
CD from this, ma'am.
You can find CD. Do you want to find BD?
I'm not in.
No, we are not interested in BD. So using this, See, using right triangle, why did we start with BDC first? Because we know one angle on one side. We started with triangle BDC because we know one angle on one side. We know 30 degrees and we know BC also. We know this 30 degrees angle and we know BC is 3125. So you can easily solve and get the length of the other line segment. We found this. Then take the other triangle ADC, not ABD. ABD is not a right triangle. ACD, take the other triangle. Use tan 60. Substitute. Now, when you use tan 60, you get CD, and CD we already found. CD we already found. So put that value and you get AC. And the required distance is AB, which is AC minus BC. Don't take a screenshot, children. Please work it now in the class. Start with a triangle which has one angle on one side. Supposing both the triangles have only angles and you don't know any side completely, then you can start with any triangle. Then you should do that equating method or substitution method. All right, children. Next question. Again, a test question. From a window 15 meters above the ground, the angle of elevation. This is the angle of elevation, okay, symbolically. The angle of elevation of the top A of a tower is theta, and the angle of depression of the foot B of the tower is phi. If tan theta is equal to 5/3 and tan phi is equal to 2/3, find the height of the tower. Please write down the question.
Ma'am, what is it written after depression of the foot B of the tower is?
Phi. Greek letter, phi. When we write it like this. Yes. What's the height of the tower?
1 meter from now only it on the diagram.
All right.
Ma'am, I got the answer.
Yeah. Ravya, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Is it 105 by 2 meters?
105 by 2 meters. Very good. Yes. You're right, Ravya. Very good.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it possible to share your working on WhatsApp now?
Sure, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yeah. I'd like to see the figure you made.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I got the answer.
Yes. What's your answer?
52.5 meters. Ma'am.
Yeah, right. 52.5. So from a point, so from a window 15 meters above the ground. So it's not that you draw the window like this. Window is just represented by a point. Ground level, 15 meters above the ground level. 15 meters above the ground level. This is the ground level. This is 15 meters above the ground level. And this is the position of a window 15 meters above the ground level. This is the position of the window 15 meters above the ground level. Ground level, this is 15 meters above the ground level. So this is the position of the window, which is 15 meters above the ground level. The angle of elevation of the top A of a tower. So that means there's a tower which is taller than 15 meters. The tower is taller than 15 meters because from this point, the observer is looking at an elevation of theta. The top A, this is A. The top is called A, and the foot of the tower you can see is called B. You can call this C and D, these 2 points. This is the position of the window 15 meters above the ground. The tower is taller. The tower is taller than the 15 meter, than the window which is 15 meters above the ground, because from this point the observer looks at the top A at an elevation. So see here, this is the line of sight. This is the line of sight connecting the eye of the observer and the top of the pole, top of the tower. The angle of elevation is theta. So the horizontal is the line through the eye of the observer. So this will be the horizontal line. And the angle measured is, the angle of elevation is theta. Now the observer who's standing at this window, he looks up at the top. He looks up at the top and measures the elevation to be phi. And from the same point, he looks down at the foot of the tower. He looks up to see A, he looks down to see B. So he looks down to see B. So this is the line of sight, eye of the observer and the foot of the tower. This is the horizontal. The same will be the horizontal through his eyes. The line through the eye of the observer. This is the horizontal line. Horizontal line of sight. Horizontal line of sight. Angle of depression is phi. This is also 15. This is also 15. This is one line of sight from the eye of the observer to the top of the tower. This is another line of sight from the eye of the observer to the foot of the tower. Of course, the foot is on the ground and he is at a higher level. So that will be angle of depression. From the same point, one is elevation, the other is depression, because the top of the tower is elevation. The foot of the tower is on the ground. So, but he is not on the ground. He's at a higher level. So he's at a higher level. The foot of the tower is on the ground, lower level. So angle of depression, phi. Ground level, 15 meters above the ground level. The tower is taller than the position of the window. Position of the window, 15 meters above the ground. Complete the rectangle, and this is the horizontal line because the observer is here. The observer is here. So this is the horizontal line. This is the ground level. This is the ground level. This is not the foot of the observer. The height of the observer is not known. So this is the position of the observer. This is the height of the window above the ground. This is not the height of the observer. This is the height of the window above the ground, 15 meters. The observer is here. He does not change his position. So line of sight will start from here. The line of sight will start from here. From here, he looks at the top of the tower. This is the horizontal. Elevation is theta. The same as the horizontal. From his eye, connect the foot of the tower. Horizontal line of sight, phi. The depression, the angle of depression is phi. So top A, foot B, and call this C and D. So what is tan theta, children? What is tan theta equal to?
5/3.
You can call this x and x. You can call this portion h. Because there's already 15. There's already 15. What is tan theta equal to?
5/3.
No. Connect the sides. Tan theta is equal to?
Perpendicular by base.
Yeah, please tell me what they are now. I've used some symbols.
H by x.
By x. What's the value of tan theta given in the question?
5/3, ma'am.
5/3 is equal to h by x. I should have taken the other triangle first because that has one side. That's okay. Let's work it here. What's tan phi? Which is the triangle? BCE is the triangle. BCE is the triangle. What is tan phi? BCE is a triangle. BC. You can also mark phi here and take up the other triangle. Both are fine. Or because there's already a triangle here, I'm just taking this triangle itself. Or you can bring down phi here and take this triangle. There's a triangle already here, so I'm using this triangle. What's tan phi? Opposite, 15.
15 by x.
Adjacent, x. And what's the value of tan phi given? 2/3. So 2/3 is equal to 15 by x. 15 by x. So you get x is equal to 45/2. X is equal to 45/2. So now use the value of x here, 45/2. X is 45/2, 5/3 into x is equal to h. So this is 45/2. This x is 45/2. So when you use 45/2 and work it, you will get the value of h. H is only this portion. H is only this. So the height of the tower is AB. Will be h plus 15. And as you all said, it's 52.5 meters. Please go through the answer. This 3 will come down for division. So x will be equal to 5/3. 3 will come down for division into 45/2. So 3 ones are 3 15s are 75/2, which is 37.5. All right. The next question.
Ma'am, can you once show the last slide, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. This 3 will come down for division here. From 5 by 3. We don't have time for this question. I will do this. We'll do this. Try this one, children. The angle of elevation of the top of a building from the foot of a tower is 30 degrees, and the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from the foot of the building. So there are two structures, tower and building. The elevations are marked from the foot of one to the top of the other. If the tower is 250 meters high, find the height of the building. So elevation says, elevation means that you're looking up. You have to raise your head to look at something. Where do you have to raise your head more? Wherever the elevation is more. Elevation 30 degrees, you lift your head. But when elevation is 60 degrees, that means you have to raise it more than when it was 30 degrees. So that structure will be taller. That structure is taller. So here the elevation of the top of the tower is more than the elevation of the top of the building. So the tower is taller. The tower is taller. See here. The building, this is the building. This is the tower. Okay, the tower is 250 meters high. How do we make out? Now the thing is, how do we make out which is taller? Now this particular question, even if your figure is if you made the other one taller also, you'll get the correct answer, but it will not fit into your figure, that's all. Even if you made the other ones taller, you would have got the correct answer.
83.3 meters.
Yeah, right.
Yes, ma'am. 83.3.
Correct. Very good. Let's understand this. See here. So from the foot of one, you're looking at the top of the other. That's what it is. There are two structures, tower and building. Tower, building. There are two structures, tower and building. What you're doing is you stand at the foot of the tower. That is, you stand at the foot of one thing and look at the top of the other thing. From the foot of one structure, you're looking at the top of the other structure. So from the foot of one, you're from the foot, you're looking at the top. So wherever the elevation is more, that top is higher or taller. So the elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. The elevation of the top of the building is 30 degrees. So since the elevation of the tower is 60 degrees, the elevation of the top of the tower is more, the tower is taller. You have to raise your head more to look at the top of the tower. So the tower is taller. The tower is taller. So what do? You're not standing here. You're not standing here. This is the building. This is the building. This is the building. So from the foot of the building, see, this is the building, and this is the tower. And the thing is, which one to draw taller? Are they of equal height? Or if they're not of equal heights, which is taller? Wherever the elevation is more, wherever you have to raise your head more than the earlier one, that structure will be taller. So 60 degrees is wider than 30 degrees. So 60 degrees means you have to really raise your head to look at the top of that particular thing. So elevation of the tower is 60. That means the tower is taller than the building. The building is also tall, but the tower is taller than the building. So see from the foot, let's read from the beginning. The elevation of the top of a building. The elevation of the top of a building. This is the top of the building. The elevation of the top of the building from the foot of the tower. This is the foot of the tower. The elevation. So from here, you're looking at the top of the tower. This is the line of sight. And this is the horizontal. The ground level is the horizontal level. Horizontal line. This is the line of sight. Line of sight because from the foot of the tower, you're looking at the top of the building. So this is the line of sight. This angle is 30 degrees. Now you switch the place. You come here. You come to the foot of the building. And the angle of elevation of the top of the tower. This is the top of the tower. This is the top of the tower. The elevation of the top of the tower from the foot of the building. So from here, from the foot of the building, you look at the top of the tower. You look at the top of the tower. From the foot of the building, you look at the top of the tower. And the elevation is found to be 60 degrees. The elevation is 60 degrees. Line of sight, horizontal. If the height of the tower is 250 meters, so see, 250 is given to you. That is in one triangle, you know one side. Find the height of the building. You'll have to find the height of the building. So in which triangle you know 250 degrees? in this big triangle, in this triangle, you know one angle is 60 degrees and this one is 250. So you can easily find this side. You can easily find this side. Then take up this triangle, where the angle is 30 degrees, and this one we just found. Use that and find the height of the building. First, take the triangle where you know one angle and one side. So we know 60 degrees and 250 meters from one triangle. Using that, we can find this one. We can find this. And then using 30 degrees and what we just found in the small triangle, you can find the height of the building. In this situation, wherever the elevation is greater, that structure is taller. See here, if you have some doubt in cross multiplying, you cross multiply here like tan 30 CD by BD, right? So what is tan 30? 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to CD by BD. Is equal to CD by BD. So cross multiply here itself. So you'll get BD is equal to, cross multiply here, BD is equal to root 3 CD. Root 3 CD. Now you can substitute the value of BD is 250 by root 3 is equal to root 3 CD. If this one is confusing, you can cross multiply and then take that value. So the height of the building is 83 1 by 3 or 83.3 meters. The most important thing is to understand the figure. Once I'm done with that, working is the same style. I told you the different, aspects of working. One is when you know in a triangle, you know one angle and one side, you can find the other side. Sometimes you have one equation, two unknowns, you cannot find anything. So then you have to do the equating method or the substitution method. If there's something new with the working, I'll definitely explain. So these you should ask me. If you don't understand the working here, you should ask me. Please complete this and then submit your classwork. Class, use the emoji, raise your hand. So Parthavi, Nafi, Shruti, Shakti, Reshmi, Reshmika, Arnav, Hariharan, Rakshan, Shivani, Muttuvel, Adi Ravya, Nivedita, Priya, Shreya, Lakshita, Sudarshan, Tirunesh, Harshita, Balaharish, Subiksha, Srinivasan, Nishita, Aksharam, Priyadarshini, Anish. 2 of them already left the meeting. All right. All right, children. So that was it for today's class. If you have any questions, please stay back and ask me. Else you may leave the call. Thank you, children. Good night. Thank you, children.
Thank you.
Please submit your classwork, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Good night.